Hi, I am author S.C. Vincent, writer of several science fiction, fantasy, and horror books. You can find me on Amazon.com. If you just type in S.C. Vincent, you'll see several great books, such as The Sakura Element, East the Fallen, and The Arcadian Destiny. And you can even find some of my short stories where I've been published. If you just type in my name, go to my books, check them out. Leave a review, share them with your friends. I would greatly appreciate it, and enjoy the video. Hey guys, it's me, author S.C. Vincent, and just wanted to show off some more of my anime collection because I noticed that they're actually some of my most popular videos. So today will be letters F through, I think, G, which is just two. A, B, C, D, E, F, G. But there's a lot there, so that's what I'm going to show you. So first, let me show you some of the books that I've written. If you could please check out the link in the description below, and check out some of these awesome books. This is my newest book, The Sakura Element. It's a lot like, those shoujo animes with like love and a lot of teenage angst or whatever. And then you have a lot more of my high fantasy stuff that's more kind of Western focused. But I think you guys would like this if you would please check out my books because that's kind of my number one thing. So, all right, let's continue on. So, if you hear that noise, that is my fan next to me. Excuse that. So, here, let's begin with Flowers of Evil. This was a anime that was pretty famous when it came out just for its use of rotoscope. If you don't know what rotoscoping is, it's when you film something and then put drawing on top of the film to make it look as if it's animated in like normally, like how a normal anime would be. But it's really not. So this show kind of has like a strange kind of look to it. That's because it was filmed first with actors and then they drew over it in a way. I think they used computers, but I never actually really watched it because of that. I don't like rotoscope. And then here is the old original Fooly Cooly releases by let's see here, Central. I think it was what studio was this? What licensing studio? Not sure, but this was, of course, a classic, which they've since made, I think, several sequels. Original by Gainax. They've made tons of sequels to this show, and I think none of them are any good. And I think nothing beats the original releases. These are, the original anime. So I haven't updated to Blu-ray or anything. I might do that in the future if I feel like it. What do you guys think of the sequels to Fooly Cooly? Do you like them? And if you do like them, did you watch the original Fooly Cooly first before watching those? So, up next is Fruits Basket. This is a shoujo, kind of a reverse harem, I would say, show. I'm not entirely sure, but she has a lot of boys at her disposal, I guess, or I haven't watched it, but it seems to be a love show. Something about the zodiac. Each of the boys represents something of the zodiac, and I think they change into it. I haven't watched it yet, but it's supposedly a very good show. They made an original back, I think, in the 2000s, original anime, and then they made a sequel series. This is a sequel series. Not a sequel series, but a remake of the manga and a faithful adaptation of the manga. So I have the show and I have the prelude right there. And I haven't watched it yet, but it's supposed to be really good. I think I said that. So let me know if you guys like this show. And then there's the original anime releases of Full Metal Alchemist. This is season 1, part 1, and the complete second season, and then the movie. This was the kind of original anime series they released way back when, before Brotherhood. This is kind of the weird one where so there's some spoilers I might say, but this is the weird one where they kind of go into our world at the very end, and it kind of that I really didn't like the ending of Full Metal Alchemist. Like Full Metal Alchemist starts off really strong, and then it kind of veers off into like some weird nonsense in my opinion. But you know, it's also kind of if you compare it to the into Brotherhood, it's also very slowly paced. It's because the manga was still going while the anime was going, and so they eventually did an anime original ending, which I always hate those. I think they're almost always bad, um, and the movie's bad too. Then so we get to Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood, which faithfully adapts the manga, and it's excellent. To me, it's like 10 out of 10, and one of the best anime ever. This one, the original's good, but this is great. You need to watch, and I think it's actually extremely costly now to either get the original Full Metal Alchemist and maybe even this Brotherhood. But if you have to choose between one or the other, get Brotherhood. So these are kind of older releases, but very good. Some of the best shows around. And then there's Full Metal Panic. This is also kind of an older show that had a few sequels. Full Metal Panic Fumofu, which was a spin-off, more of a comedy spin-off, and then the second raid, and then Full Metal Panic Invisible Victory. Is that what it says? Yeah. So I have watched this, and I think I watched this as well. I bought this, but I haven't watched it. I'm hoping one day they finish adapting all of the manga or whatever, but I don't think they did, so I just bought it and I haven't watched that yet. Because to me, like, what's the point of continuing an unending story? But I mean, from what I watched, it's good, but I wanted the story to conclude. And then here's one of the older titles I have, The Count of Monte Cristo Genkotsu. It's a pretty good show. It has a unique art style. If you've ever seen Mononoke, it's kind of like that somewhat. So it's also, I guess, roughly based off of the book, which is extremely long. I don't know if you've ever seen that book, The Count of Monte Cristo, but I have it. It's a really, really long book. Then I have the Galaxy Express 999 movie on DVD, and it is a excellent film. Definitely need to watch that. Then I had the TV series, and then I had the sequel to the movie. I think that's what this one is. I'm not entirely clear on the continuity of the movies, but the first movie is so good, and I think the movie's kind of a condensed version of the TV series, or the TV series is just like an expanded version of the movie. But if it's anything like the movie, it's gonna be great. I haven't watched it yet. And then there's Gantz. Gantz is kind of a franchise that it's gone on for a while. Like, I've seen movies, CG movies, the manga. I don't know if it's still going. I don't know if they did another anime series or not, but this was, I think, the original anime series. This was kind of when, back in the day, when Funimation was kind of just releasing everything that was new at the time. And they still kind of do that, but there's just no quality control. I really dislike Gantz. I cannot recommend it. And like, Funimation. What studio was this? Gonzo. Let me tell you this. If it was animated by Studio Gonzo, you're better off just not buying it. I don't know if that's just a general rule of thumb, like whatever. I didn't like Gantz. I don't know, was it Madhouse or was it Gonzo? Now I'm curious. I bet you it was Gonzo. You see, that's how they used to release these sets, like very thin pack sets is what, they were called thin packs. They were terrible, fragile. Then so I would not recommend Gantz. Then there's this show this is a recent purchase, The King of Braves Gao Gagar. I'm usually not into superhero mechs, but this one looked pretty epic when I saw. Look at that picture. That's such a weird design. This one looked pretty epic when I saw it on YouTube, when I saw trailers for it, so I decided to get it. I'll give it a watch. It looks interesting. Have you guys seen that one? Is that good? And then there's this show called Ghost Hound. So it was created by Masamune Shiro, who created Ghost in the Shell. I have to say, I mean, I watched it, and the first set, like the first 12 or however episodes, are actually decent, but then it kind of becomes just kind of boring. I from what I recall, it wasn't very interesting after that. Like, it doesn't have a good payoff. That's the most important thing about stories is, they have to have a good ending. Sometimes anime just doesn't have that. Like this was another one of those Funimation releases of just uninteresting, uninspired shows called Ghost Hunt. It's just pretty mediocre. Some people say it's good. I think I couldn't even tell you I remember much about it. So then we're gonna get here to the original release of Ghost in the Shell. Everyone knows Ghost in the Shell. Everyone loves it. This is the manga video, very old licensor, releaser. This is a great movie. I would give it an 8 out of 10. I think it's a little overrated. It's like Westerner's first anime type of movie, and it gets extremely, well reviews. It's not at all. It's kind of its own canon. It's not at all similar to the manga. Actually, like no Ghost in the Shell anime is, as of now, similar to the manga. But they are making a new anime of Ghost in the Shell that is a strict adaptation of the manga, and I'm pretty excited because manga is kind of out there. But here's the sequel to that movie, Ghost in the Shell 2: Innocence, where Bato is the main character, not the major. And this movie, I have to say, is like a 10 out of 10 for me personally. I loved this movie. You really need to watch this one. Like, it has such a great story, great themes. It's very inspiring for me. I use some of the stuff it talks about in some of the philosophical themes in my writing in books that I don't think I've released yet. And then there's some of the older sets of the Ghost in the Shell standalone complex. This is the one they showed on Adult Swim a lot. Then here is the second season. This is also a very good show. And then here is the movie, Ghost in the Shell standalone complex solid state society. This triumvirate or whatever of anime of Ghost in the Shell. These 3 sets, very good, excellent. You should check it out. They tried to make some sort of sequels to me that weren't very good. They tried to do a whole bunch of stuff with Ghost in the Shell later on that, to me, just none of it was very good. I think I had some other sets of those and I sold them off. That's how much I disliked them. My hands are getting shaky holding this. So then we start getting into some G's, and I stuck. This is where we start getting into the Studio Ghibli stuff, right? This is I put some like loose stuff with the Studio Ghibli, like if it's directed by Isao Takahata or Hayao Miyazaki or written by them or something like that, I'll put it with Ghibli. It's a general kind of Ghibli collection. I'm a huge Ghibli fan, and so I own as much as I possibly can of those guys in that studio. So this was directed by Isao Takahata, with animation by Miyazaki. This is the Little Norse Prince, Horus, Prince of the Sun. A lot of people haven't watched this. It's not a mainstream movie. This was, I think, animated at Toei Animation. It was, from what I recall, a relative flop. Or maybe that's not true. I'm not entirely sure, to be honest with you. If I'm right or wrong, let me know in the comments. But it's really well animated. It's a good movie. And then here is Panda Go Panda. This is both OVAs, I believe. This one is also, yep, Panda Go Panda and Rainy Day Circus. This one was animated. Was it directed by Isao Takahata? Script by Miyazaki. Character designs by Miyazaki. Directed by, I think, Takahata. This is very lighthearted, fun to watch. Children, kind of like a children's proto Ghibli, kind of. So I'll kind of go through it again, and we'll see. I'll recommend, do not recommend, recommend Fooly Cooly, I think recommend Fruits Baskets, recommend all of Full Metal Alchemist, recommend Full Metal Jacket, recommend Account of Monte Cristo, recommend all of Galaxy Express, do not get Gantz, do not get anything animated by Studio Gonzo. I guess I recommend this. I haven't watched it yet. Do not recommend Ghost Town. Do not recommend Ghost Hunt. Recommend everything here that is Ghost in the Shell. And recommend Panda Go Panda and Horus. So that's letters F and G. We'll be going on to G some more. In fact, the next, let's see, the next row is entirely like G, maybe an H. Wait, am I doing my alphabet correctly? B, C, D, E, F, G, H. Yes, I am. Wow. Okay, so that's like the next row. There's just so much stuff here. It's gonna take a while for me to get to them. So if you guys like this content, I know you do because these are some of my most watched videos. Please like, subscribe, and check out my books in the link in the description below. And thank you for watching.